Good evening. My name is Kayla Hoffman, and I'm doing my PowerPoint presentation for Social Work Class 380 on diversity, populations at risk, and empowerment. The first thing I would like to discuss is the video being black in America. The young man often mentioned in the video that he felt like his voice wasn't heard. It's very vital as social workers that we let everyone know that they're vital, that they're important, and that their voice is important. One of the things he talked about was police brutality. So we know that for many years now, police have been brutally killing our young black men. You're normally the ages between 18 and 25. We know that they're also stereotyped just for the color of their skin. And because of our culture, a lot of times we know that our young black men recently have been culturally rejected because of dreads and things of this nature. So we must, as social workers, we must always be vital and let people know that their voice is important and that they are empowered, and that we need to get rid of political ideologies and myths that have been plaguing people of color for many years. In the video Ask Me, it's simple. It's just a simple statement that these young people are making of the LGBTQ community. They're simply just saying, ask me. So what they're saying is, ask me how I prefer to be called. Ask me who I am. Ask me. Don't just make assumptions. As social workers, we need to be very interested in how people choose to be called, their gender identity, their gender expression, and their intersectionality. They are more than just who they are attracted to sexually. In the video, What is Environmental Justice? This video talked about how plants are being planted in neighborhoods by school playgrounds, and how this environmental injustice is causing poverty and economic and inequality social development on a macro level. We do know that many of these plants, due to the toxins that they put in the air, have caused cancer. We also know that in a lot of the poor communities and neighborhoods, they're still using paints that are full of lead that cause many issues, physical and psychologically, to our children. The other video that I talked about, I really love this video. This video with Loretta Claiborne said, let's talk about intellectual disabilities. One of the things that I loved that her mom talked about is how her mom advocated for us. As social workers, we need to also advocate for others that that are born with intellectual disabilities and even physical disabilities. We need to also be aware that even in these days, many people are not hired. They already are marginalized and alienated because simple disabilities. As social workers, we need to be aware, and we need to advocate for those that are less fortunate than someone else. In this video, Taking Root, it discussed on a macro environment, globalization, poverty, and economic inequality. One of the things that we need to remember that due to global warming, we know that one of the things that will help is just planting more trees. And what she was doing was showing other people through social participation how to plant trees. This was helping the socialization, but also in the community development. The woman mentioned in this video about the oppression and how they said she was being disobedient for doing a good thing. As social workers, we need to encourage and empower people to do those things that will help on a global level and help socialization to grow and to be able to be around for years to come. Same Love by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. So in this video, it talked about the discrimination that those people that have same-sex desires or same-sex sexual orientation. A lot of times we know that people that are religious, not spiritual, tell these people that God doesn't love them and they're not worthy of love, that they don't have the same rights as us. That's no different than us being discriminated against because of our color. It's more vital that we judge people by the content of their character and not the things that they do as far as when they love someone that looks like them. As social workers, we need to be very vital and understanding to people that are not like us and still give them empowerment and not discriminate. As social workers, in 7 Kids, One Apartment, the Gerardo Gomez story, his mom mentioned that I really heard very loud and clear. She said that she never thought when she was having children that they would be doctors or teachers. One of the things as social workers is we should empower our people and clients and let them know that they can be whatever they want to be. That's why she didn't care that she told him to stay home and watch the kids, because she never saw them as greater. And one of the things that happens when people are dealing with poverty is they just see their surroundings. They don't look beyond their surroundings. As social workers, we should be a light and speak life and positive things into their life and let them see beyond their neighborhood and allow them to see themselves making more than just minimum wage. In the video, in reference to the Gordon Plaza residents, Miss Sharon Rainey and Miss Janice Stimley, they talked about the community development on a macro development. One of the things that she mentioned was that she was working for the mayor at the time she got her house and was able to build at a young age. She said that she really felt that the mayor knew about this community. This community is at an all-time high for cancer. It is truly a population at risk. The importance of the process that these women have gone through, they understand that this situation is cultural on many, many levels. They know that they are not getting the help they need. They mentioned all the cancer deaths just in one area, that we as social workers need to go in and advocate and fight for human rights to understand that this is not good, and that as social workers we need to make sure that all people are safe regardless of their color. In the video, the 3 deadliest words in the world, it's a girl. This talks about how the woman killed 8 babies in a row before she had a boy. We know that in Japan, in China, and India, little girls are not vital. But as social workers, we need to be aware of culture, diversity, and that there are populations still at risk. And Mr. Evan Gray, he really represented the pro-women perspective on many, many levels. The Essential Blue-Eyed video, Miss Jane Elliott has done many videos on trying to teach on unity and diversity and validation. She expresses how important it is for us to understand intersectionality and that social injustice is still real. She also talks about how brown-eyed people, blue-eyed people, are people that are not of color are given more power and privilege just because of the color of their skin. We must always be aware that oppression is still ever powerful in these days, and as social workers, we need to increase more unity and diversity and validation of all people, regardless of the color of their skin. And this is the end of my PowerPoint presentation.
That was 9 minutes.